And I was wondering who, in the office in WWF, first discovered you and then brought you in. Who gets the credit for that?
In the office, I think Taker told them, excuse me, I think Taker probably said, hey, you got to take a look at my buddy. And that's how they found out about me. When I came back from Germany, when I went to Germany, Taker was going to WCW. See, Taker went to Japan. And then when he came back, I went to Japan. Okay, when I came back to USWA, he went to WCW. I went to Germany. When I got back from Germany, he's in WWF. So I got they gave me a tryout and they hired me. And Vince said, he says, we're going to put you on payroll. Just keep working out, stay in shape. He goes, we got to come up with something for you. He says, you have a body of a monster. He says, but you got a big face. And so he goes, we got to come up with something to get rid of that face. They didn't want me to be babyface. They wanted me to heel. They wanted this big monster heel. And so they covered my face. That's how they did. They painted my face because I had such a baby face, and I did.
Do you couldn't have been the Soul Taker, I suppose, because it would have been too close to the Undertaker. Was that ever discussed?
Never. They probably didn't even know about the Soul Taker. They probably didn't even know. That's weird that it's weird that he became the Undertaker, but it had nothing to do with the Soul Taker.
What was Sir Charles?
Sir Charles was my tryout was in Phoenix, and Charles Barkley played basketball there. And so they wanted to put heat on me. So Vince is like, let's call him Sir Charles, and it'll make, everybody be booing him because I'm calling myself Sir Charles. Used it one time for my tryout. That's the only time I was ever Sir Charles.
What was the outfit like to sort of like compliment the Sir Charles thing? Because when I think of Sir Charles...
I probably came out with like Soul Taker stuff, probably just a black singlet and some black stuff. To be honest, I don't remember. It was just a tryout and a dark match. Nobody, it's not on tape anywhere. Nobody's gonna ever see it. It was just a tryout match. But he hired me right away. And when I came back, he says, we're gonna hire you. And he told me what he's gonna do. And I'm like, cool.
Going back onto Papa Shango, I mean, obviously it's Baron Samedi from Live and Let Die. One of the better Roger Moores, and I'm a big Bond fan. But who actually decided that you would be a good fit for it?
Vince called me at the club, and I remember because the doorman said, Vince McMahon's on the phone. I'm like, yeah, right, he is. So I get hello. He goes, Charles, Vince. I'm like, oh, shit, it is Vince. This is exactly what he said as far as I can remember. He said, Charles, I want you to go rent the movie Live and Let Die. He said, there's a voodoo character in there that we're going to take off of. And I already knew who it was. I knew the movie. I was a big James Bond fan too. And then I remember the laugh. He was also the guy that played him. I can't think of his name. It was Jeffrey something, but he died a while ago. But he was also the Uncola Man, and he had that laugh. And so I stole that laugh and everything, and that's where it was taken from.
Do you remember maybe your first real sit-down meeting with Vince McMahon? Was it at the house, or was it just at TV taping and you discussed the character
there? It was at his office at Stamford, Connecticut. And the first person I met was Howard Finkel, God rest his soul. And then Howard says, Vince is in a meeting. He's going to be about an hour and a half. They said, if you like, we're going to get you something to eat. He goes, if you want to go to the gym and work out. I'm like, oh, I'd rather go to the gym and work out. So I went and worked out, took a shower. They came and got me, and they took me up to his office. And that's the first time I met him.
You were, I believe, going to have a run with Sid afterwards. And it's funny that I didn't even mean to mention the test, but I believe he pissed Hart, and then your feud with Sid was completely gone. Is that how it happened? Or?
No.
Oh, no. Right.
I was never supposed to work with Sid.
Right.
Sid was supposed to work with the Warrior. Okay. And then Sid didn't want to do the job for him. So Sid took off. And this is exactly what happened. They were building me as Papa Shango. And this is exactly what happened. This is people in the office said, and they're in the meeting and Sid quit. What are we going to do? And Vince says, who's got any steam on him? Only person who's got any steam on him right now is Papa Shango. Bam. They never had plans for me to go on beyond Warrior with him. That was just something to do real quick until I think they got Macho Man ready. So there was never, that's all bullshit. You know, what happened to Papa Shango is he got thrown to the wolves. Yeah, I got caught up in the system and you got used. And then once you got used, and which is not a bad thing because you're in main events every night, you're getting paid. But then you went from, who was it, Warrior to Brett to Taker to, you just went down the line for a couple of years, put people over, but you made good money, you know?
Do you remember which of the Papa Shango curses were your favourites and which ones you maybe could have done without, or did you just love them all?
Dude, they were all real. I mean, I'm not a real voodoo priest, but everything I was saying was real. And we had books of real curses and stuff. And what I was doing was real. I was having, only thing I didn't like about, I wish I wasn't so green, because I could have, like, I used to have matches with Kamala as Papa Shango, and they were just horrible matches. And then I realized later in life that it wasn't that, it was Kamala's fault. It was my fault, because he was so much better at his gimmick than I was at mine, that it just didn't work. But I wish I could have did it later in life, because I'd have done a better job. I would have known how to work that gimmick. I was never a voodoo man in my life. So all of a sudden I'm a voodoo man out there shaking and stuff. I mean, it wasn't something easy to pull off.
Do you are you a bit sad that you and Ultimate Warrior never got onto pay-per-view before he left?
No.
Okay.
There's other people that Ultimate Warrior, bro. I've worked with everybody, man. The pay would have been the same. I've worked with everybody on the top. So no, man, I don't even think that way. I am not a mark for the business, and I'm not a mark for myself. It was a job for me. It was a way to be around crazy people that are just like me. It was a way to just have fun. And that's what it was for me. And and I respect the business. Made some money in the business, met a lot of good friends in the business, but I'm out of the business now. I mean, I don't even watch anymore. I don't watch TV at all. And it's hard to watch wrestling right now because there's no fans. And it's kind of, for me, it's just one of the sports you almost kind of need fans.
What's he like as a person? Because I know Undertaker had a feud with him the year before. So did he give you any advice of like how to handle him, or was he just like a cool guy behind the scenes, or did he? What was he like to drive?
Most people didn't care for him, and he didn't do anything to change their opinion of him. But he was cool with me. I don't know if he was cool with me because he wasn't threatened by me, but he was real cool with me, man. I had no problems with Jim. I had no problems with all. I mean, he was the one putting over that voodoo and all that stuff. So, I mean, God bless him, man. He's the one that made it because when he threw up and so no, I had no problems with him. He's just a different cat, man. He's just a different dude. And I know a lot of different people, but I had no problems with him. Most of the guys didn't care for him.